Well, hello everybody. It is another edition of Travel with the Stars, and we're back. You've seen these lovely ladies before. We have Heather and Donna with us.
Hello.
We apologize in advance for any random video issues. The internet seems to be weird today. No, nobody knows why. It's fine. See, we'll blame
The Mondays.
There you go.
I like that. We'll blame the Mondays. It's probably everything's Monday's fault. It's fine. Just another manic Monday. Oh, wait. So anyway, we are here to talk about one of our favorite topics, which on a Monday is interesting, honestly, because we all would rather be on a Disney cruise line.
Amen. Amen.
I mean, is there anything better, first of all, the Disney cruise line?
No,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure there is. So, but we're specifically talking about the days at sea. And no, I don't mean days where you're not in port and just at sea, although we do also enjoy those days. Those are nice days. But we are specifically talking about the themed days at sea, which they do for Marvel and for Pixar Day at Sea right now. Now you might be like, didn't they do Star Wars? Yeah, that was a while ago. Okay, now we have other Star Wars things to do. So we have Marvel Day at Sea, we have Pixar Day at Sea, and both are phenomenal. These lovely ladies have both recently been on such cruises. Donna was on the Pixar Day at Sea, and Heather was just on the Marvel Day at Sea. So we're going to talk about what that means. So who wants to let's do an overview, I guess, of Pixar Day at Sea, and then let's talk about overview of Marvel Day at Sea.
Sure.
You're going to see some similarities. So, all right, Pixar Day at Sea. Donna, take it away.
So we have a 7-year-old son obsessed with all things Pixar. He knows the lines of the movie. He's like the mini version of me. I got exactly what I deserved when I had him. All the things, just quotes all the things, loves all the characters. He's had the biggest crush on Jessie forever. Everything. We did the Buzz, Woody, Jessie costumes, the whole 9 yards. We're in it to win it. So the Pixar Day at Sea was just such a really fun fit for our family. They are 7-night sailings. So that does come into play for some folks who might usually do a 3-night or a 4-night. So this is a 7-night sailing. It's the full week. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of during Disney Cruise Line's little off season. So they'll do it to entice people. Oh, hey, if we take the kids out of school for a week, or if we do this for a week, we get to do the Pixar Day at Sea or Marvel Day at Sea cruise. So with this cruise, it was just character overload in all the best ways. My kid hates waiting in lines. The kid would have waited an hour to have met Rex or Woody or whomever, because he was so darn jazzed about seeing them. It was just so stinking fun. Even Mickey and Minnie came out wearing Pixar outfits. So it wasn't just right. Actually, you know me. I brought the picture. Oh, that worked well, Donna. There we go.
Oh, that's so cute.
Right? It was just, in addition to everything DCL offers, it just kind of plussed it so much. Being able to see those characters. There were a couple that you had to sign up for in advance, doing The Incredibles, which actually ended up being Mr. Incredible and Frozone, which I thought was kind of interesting. I was like, oh. But fun. We had to sign up in advance for Rex. Amazing. We met Bo Peep. Oh my goodness. We did breakfast with Woody and Bullseye and Jessie. It was mind blown. So much fun. I literally cannot tell you guys how much we enjoyed everything about this themed cruise. They do on this actual day, the Pixar Day at Sea. They have stuff all day long, trivia, drawing, the whole 9 yards. It was phenomenal. I cannot wait to do another probably Pixar Day, because it was just that fun day at sea.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, I love it. And the pictures that you posted were just
yeah. I mean, we literally, so Jen's referring to my family dressed up as the characters.
Yes.
For the character breakfast, because we're those people.
It was perfection. I love it so much. Okay. And just like your son is obsessed with Pixar, Heather's girls obsessed with Marvel.
There you go.
Obsessed. Obsessed. I if there was a better word to describe it, it's obsessed. But I do have a question though, Donna, because yours sailed out of Port Canaveral.
We did, round trip Canaveral.
Mm-hmm. which makes it super easy so that if you are coming in here to Walt Disney World, you can come in and you can stay at one of the Disney hotels. They will provide you round trip transfer, and it's great.
Yep.
If you are signing up for Marvel,
Fort Lauderdale.
you are in Fort Lauderdale, which is the brand new port at Port Everglades.
Yes.
It is a Nemo themed port. It is gorgeous.
I haven't seen the pictures. How have I not seen this?
No, what?
It's so pretty. Like, it's so pretty. Like, even when you're waiting in line, like outside as the other guests are getting off the ship before you're getting on, they have paintings of the ship as you're walking down the hallway before you can like, get into the terminal.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And then they have the bubbles on the ceiling so that it's like you're underwater when you walk in, and there's a bunch of hidden Mickeys in them. And they have the tunnel. They have the Mickey tunnel. Like, so you're still walking through the ears.
Okay. Okay. That's important.
Yes, that is important. You need to make sure that you're walking in through the Mickey tunnel. But if you're doing a Marvel day at sea, you are only doing it for a 5-night sailing. And it is out of Fort Lauderdale. Now, Disney is partnered with a few hotels that will provide you round trip transfers to and from your hotel and the airport as well, which you can get added onto your cruise. But in terms of arriving to the port, since that was our first time at that port, we drove because we're Floridians. And going in there, if you are driving, the security to get into this port is bananas because all that's coming in and out of this port are like fuel trucks. So you go through like 4 security checkpoints. So it's just, but then once you round the corner and you're like in the Disney parking garage, then it's all magical. But if you're, and I even said, like, when I arrived, I was like, these people at the gate were like not so nice. And they're just like, it's a different port compared to Port Canaveral. So just be aware that if you're planning on driving in, that there are quite a few checkpoints before you like get into the actual terminal where your cruise port is. And then once you pull into that parking garage, it's all magic and butterflies and daisies. But Fort Lauderdale is just a little bit different than Port Canaveral. And there's only a few hotels that Disney's partnered with. And you could stay at ones that are outside. You could stay at the airport one and get transfers.
Yeah.
But so ours was only 5 nights. Where did yours stop at, Donna?
So it rotates Eastern Caribbean, Western Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean, Western. And since we've done Western 1,800 times, we did Eastern, and it was really, really fun. So we did Castaway, of course, and then we did St. Thomas and
Tortola.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So ours is Cozumel and Castaway. Those are the 2 stops that are on it. And then you have 2 days at sea. And your first night, obviously, as you embark on your miraculous journey, it's all the excitement of Disney Cruise Line. And then that Marvel day at sea starts at like the crack of dawn the next morning. And like Donna said, you are literally from one side of the ship to the other, going to your character meet and greets, going to your character drawings, going to your trivia. You have to reserve different reservations. There was like an Asgard meetup. There's a Avengers headquarters meetup. There's a Guardians meetup. All this stuff, right? You are exhausted by the end of Marvel Day at Sea to the point that you're just like, oh, wait, there's a show tonight. So you basically have 2 fireworks nights. You're going to have your traditional pirates night. And then whatever your themed cruise is, you're going to have like that themed party night with fireworks. And while I'm not going to spoil it, and I'm not spoiling it on social media, if you are a Marvel fan, this night with this show on the deck of the ship, when I tell you it is like Infinity War all over again, it is mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing. And I didn't watch any YouTube things before I went. I was like, nope, I don't want any spoilers for myself because I plan all these trips for all these other people. And I knew like that there was a lot of characters that popped up, but I was like, I'm not ruining any of the surprises for myself. And I had 2 cameras and I was going like this the whole time. I was like, oh my gosh. It was the greatest thing. My girls lost their mind. Jen knows because I messaged her on the last night of the ship, whatever they were
Oh my
doing,
gosh, I
like the
was like,
farewell. And my oldest is not, she's not very vocal in terms of like her emotions. And she just looks at me and there are just tears, like
Oh, poor
uncontrollable
baby.
tears. She was like, I do not want to get off the ship. This has been so magical. It was everything we imagined it would be. And then I looked at her and I started crying. I was like, don't look at me. Like, don't, I, I don't want to hear this. Like, it's so immersive, like Donna's saying. And if you
Yeah.
are a fan of these specific themed cruises, whatever the brand is, if it's Pixar, if it's Marvel, if they do Star Wars, whatever it is, I mean, it's literally a dream come true.
Yeah.
And like Donna was saying,
Mhm.
I mean, parents, kids, everybody, they're dressed in Marvel stuff, like
Yeah.
head to toe. I had clients like on the ship that I randomly, because they recognized me, were like, oh my gosh, Heather, that are now friends because they were on the sailing. Like, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're just bonding. And
Yeah.
now, did your son get to do like, did they have like any like things that they got to participate in, like on the deck for like one of the shows where they pick the kids?
So my son, Heather, is firmly attached to me at all times. Like literally, like we're codependent. It's a thing. Like, so he loved watching that stuff, but he was not stepping a big toe into even like the squared off area for the kids. He was like, no, I'm good. I'm good here.
I'm good.
But they were cool. And like, oh my goodness, they did like a baby race, you guys. They literally put like little babies like to crawl. It was Edna Mode was there like cheering them on. It was Jen, I'm telling you, it was the besides like the pirate party, it was like the most highly attended thing. There were people all on every deck in the atrium looking down, cheering for these little babies.
My daughters put it on like our itinerary because they were like, we can't miss the baby race.
Yes.
Like there's a baby race and they put them in and it's like an Avengers baby race and they put them in like whoever crawls to the end like first. It's the cutest thing. And like Donna's saying, the entire atrium is filled, all the levels of people watching these babies race.
And some of the babies would take like one little scoot and just sit and like look around like, what is this? Not going anywhere.
So
really cute.
So much fun. And they had Avengers training on the top deck. And we were just like, oh, we're just going to go up. We just want to see what it's about. And like how you're saying, your son's attached to you. My oldest, she's very calm, reserved. She's standing here next to me. She's fine. Calissa, my youngest, is like, this is my dream. I want to be Captain America. They were like, would you like to volunteer? She's like, yes. I'm sending my sister like videos back in Pittsburgh. And I'm like, she is on stage with Captain America, like fighting
living
like the
her
bad
life.
guys, like rolling, like everything. And my parents, which I didn't know that they were watching, like I didn't even know that they were up there, apparently were on the other side of the deck, like watching her on the giant tube, like, oh, look at her being a superhero in front of like thousands of people.
That's awesome.
This surprises no one if they know Callista, though.
It surprises nobody. And she had the time of her life. It was she says it was everything I imagined it would be because she was standing there next to Captain America and he's like, are you ready? And she had her stances ready and she was ready. Like she had been practicing for 4 years for this moment.
Oh my gosh.
That's so good. Oh. Now, I have to tell you, Heather, listening to you, I'm like, I want to go on Marvel because my husband and I love Marvel, but my kid's like not quite there yet. But when he's a little bit older, holy moly. Yes.
Listen, how old is he now?
7.
Okay, now is the time to just break him into just let him watch Iron Man. Iron Man, the first movie, is all they need to break them in. And I can send Callista down the road to school him on all the things. She will sit there. She will watch everyone. She will tell him what order to watch them in. She will tell him what the conspiracy theories are behind all the connections of the movie because she's going to be 8. And she has been trying to tell my dad what all of these characters do and what the next movies are going to be. I mean, she's in it. Like it's crazy. But start with Iron Man. It's great. And when the Marvel Day at Sea, like when you wake up, you leave your stateroom, and then when you come back to like take a break during the 5,000 things you're doing, you come back and you have those
like
those
a
window clings, that say Marvel Day at Sea on them.
which I think
mine
is so
on my
cool.
window right there. I can grab it literally right there. It's like a little porthole, Jen, and it has the like Pixar Day at Sea logo on it.
Oh, I love that.
Really well done. And it was a really fun surprise because much like Heather, I purposefully did not read anything. I was like, I want it to be a surprise. I want it to be like that genuine, whoa. So when we walked back in after our room had been made up and saw, the giant thing on the window, I was like, that's ridiculously cool. Like, stopped you from running into the balcony door.
It's all the magic. And like, so they have set ones, as everybody knows, in your Navigator app, you'll see what's happening throughout the day.
Yeah.
But on these themed cruises, because there's so many characters that are associated with these brands like Pixar and Marvel, they are just walking on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So me and the girls are out doing something, and my mom sends a message and says, Dr. Strange is just out here like walking on the walking deck, like, and we were like, what? And he was like the one that was hard to find. And it was just like, I mean, they're just walking around creating like just little magical moments. Like, oh, look, there's the superheroes that you always wanted to see. But it's the show. Listen, the show. I mean, I cannot give it away, but oh my goodness, it was amazing. Like amazing.
Yeah. And like the good news is like they've already announced them for next year. We know they're coming back. I do not think that this is something that Disney is going to get rid of.
No.
At all. I mean, like I think they just keep plussing it up. Like the new characters, as we get new Pixar characters, as we get new Marvel characters, like they just keep incorporating things, Now you are only going to get them, at least at this point, on a couple of ships. The Magic does it. And Donna, which one were you
Fantasy.
on? You were on the Fantasy. Okay. Yeah. And it used to be just the Magic. And then it was the Magic and the anyway, they keep, as more ships come out, they kind of change which ships are doing which thing. But if Heather, you were on the Magic, so that one is
I was on the Dream.
Oh no, you were on the Dream. So none of them were on the Magic. The Magic they did have one of them. So
wasn't Magic Star Wars?
Magic was Star Wars. That was probably
I don't remember.
Well, regardless, you're only going to get them seasonally. It is beginning of the calendar year, typically until I want to say the latest ones are April. I want to say April. And then beyond that, you got to wait till the next year. So if you want to go on one, like this is the time to book them before they get sold out, before they get too expensive, because Disney Cruise Line is capacity controlled. The more the ship fills, the higher those prices go. So,
exactly.
And Jen, the ship was full.
So I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It literally, there was a sign, right? Because you know how if it's not sold out, you can stop. That you can go to the upgrade. The second we walk on the ship, I just turn to the right just to camera, and I'm like, and there's a big sign that says like, "We're full. There's no upgrades at this time."
Yep.
And I was like, "This is amazing."
And I think Heather and I had some overlap because we were both sailing the same week in February. It was just a matter of we were Saturday to Saturday, and I guess you guys are Monday to Friday.
So no, actually, my clients I had a few families on your ship.
Oh, okay.
So I want to talk about weather with you with these themed things too, because you ran into a little bit of rough weather, and as did we. Because I was like, oh, we need to touch on that a little bit too.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I had clients on your ship, and then I sailed like a week and a half later on.
Oh, was it? I thought we had overlap for some reason. Okay. So weather, it was rough. There's really no way around that. There were people who were not feeling great. Our stateroom steward teased us at one point because we walked in from ice cream, like licking our ice cream, walking in the room. He was like, "Hey, ice cream, not ginger ale. Like that's cruising pro status right there," or something like that. But it was rough. My poor kiddo was really prone to motion sickness, and he did wake up the one night and he got sick overnight. And it was the day that we were losing an hour because of the time change, and that we had the Marvel breakfast the next morning. So I was like, oh my goodness, like this is bad. Like we had to call and get like new everything, sheets, like the whole night. It was bad. He was ill. And then the next morning he's like, "Mama, I don't feel like eating." I was like, "I know, bud. You don't have to eat. You just have to take pictures."
I love that.
Mom of the year right here. He loved it. He loved it. And he was like, Mama, my belly still feels kind of weird. And I was like, I know, bud. You're going to be okay. Just
You're gonna be fine.
Just smile.
everything's good. But the weather, honestly, Heather, it was rough. We've been on February sailings a few different times, and there was one other February that we were on a week-long cruise on it with a different line, and we had really, really rough weather on that one too. So in the back of my head, I'm like, should I be like swearing off February cruises? But then I'm like, I had so much fun on this Pixar cruise, so I really want to do it again. But that's the only thing, truthfully, that stopped us from using our onboard booking offer to immediately grab Pixar Day at Sea for 2025 was the weather, because the seas were pretty rough for a couple of days.
Yeah, and I had clients that were on there, a few families that were on there, and even their port adventures obviously got canceled. But here's the thing to remember is that while you cannot control the weather, you can control how much fun you're having on this cruise. So
absolutely.
you cannot, it's the same as if you were going to Epcot every single day in the rain. You
Which you do.
You can control how much fun you were having on the cruise. And we had 2 of the 5 nights, we had really rough seas, to the point that like I woke up at 3:00 in the morning and I'm like sitting out on the balcony. Like I need to watch how we're moving. And then when I looked out there, I was like, wait, no, I don't need to watch how we're moving. But I mean, they even came on at one point. They were just like, sorry for the rough seas, but we were hitting like this wind. It wasn't so much like that there was a storm or anything. There was just the way that the wind was hitting it, that it was just so hard. It was just rocking the ship. But the stateroom attendants check on you. Your wait staff is constantly like, if you need anything. We did not get sick, but we were just like, it's a little bit rocky. So that's the only thing that, like, as long as you have cruised before and you're prepared for it, that might be something just this time of year that you're going to experience. But then once we crossed the cusp and we were headed toward the Bahamas, it's glass. You know? And
but like, I feel like it was particularly because a lot of boards were even talking about that. Like it was, yes, you can have rougher seas that time of year, but like that was particularly for whatever reason, like more so than what you would expect
normally
experience time of year. Yeah, more so than what you would normally experience. Because like I think even the Bahamas had just had like this crazy storm. So yeah, just something to be aware of that time of year. That's true. And you can miss ports if that's the case. But Disney Cruise Line does such a good job. If that's what's going to happen.
Well, and then the other thing becomes, okay, so you could have rough seas that time of year. I also have myself and have clients that cruise, September, October, prime hurricane season. I mean, we can't predict the weather. We can't look at the crystal ball and say, blah, blah, blah is going to happen or not going to happen. Just know that any cruise line, Disney included, safety is number one. So they are going to do whatever needs to be done.
Whatever
we were on a four-night cruise for my dad's birthday last January, and we missed 2 ports, and they had to take us to Nassau, which we'd all been to like a million times because that was the only place that they could get us into safely. We couldn't go to their private island. We couldn't get to Key West. The cruise lines are going to do what they need to do to keep you safe. And I feel as though Disney does just a phenomenal job when they have to make those changes. We got into Castaway late, like hours late, because like Heather was saying, the wind was just pushing us back. It took so much longer to get where we were trying to go. So instead of having the characters decked out in their gear at the post office, they were in the atrium. So we got like these crazy cool pictures of them like in that gear in the atrium. So they still were making sure to keep you entertained and keep you involved and keep your mind away from the what's going on out there in the seas. So they did a really, really good job.
Yeah.
Would you do it again now that you know all of the things that happen on the ship?
100%.
Okay. So I'm the same.
Absolutely.
For the nighttime show alone, I'm like, sign me up. Let's go back.
They did have some modifications to our nighttime show because of the wind. It was crazy watching them prep like the background, which has like the wind cutouts. They got on ladders, put it back up, got on ladders, re-secured it. They finally came out with zip ties and zip tied the sucker to the thing. It was so windy. So they did have a couple of modifications, like where there would usually be like people like standing on stuff and like dancing and swinging on different things. None of that happens.
Well, yeah, but for safety reasons, of course. So yeah. But I mean, I will say I have sent clients on these before and they've always come back raving. They just really
so much fun.
Enjoyed it.
They love it.
Yeah. If you are a fan, even if you're a casual fan, like, come on, totally worth it. And if you're a huge fan, this is a must. Like you have to go. You have to go. So, yeah, this has been our TED Talk. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
Sign up, call us.
You're going, and you want to book now, because if you want those midship locations, you need to sign up now, because these theme cruises sell out. They sell out.
And main dining, please,
Main
guys.
dining,
Oh,
seriously.
right.
That's really what it was. We saw some lady that was on the ship, and she was actually very rude to the cast member. She was like, "Well, I guess I'm just eating at 8:30, like the entire time on the ship." And I was like, "Honey, you signed up for that like when it happened, and if it's like sold out, like I'm sorry that you're going to be eating like in the middle of the night. Like that's why it's important to book ahead, and it's always important to use an agent."
Yep.
Because we know these things.
We know these things, and there are things we can do. Even if you do book a little bit later, and all we can get you is 8:30, we're gonna watch for you. We're gonna help get you. I mean, we can't guarantee it, but we're gonna do what we can to get you onto the earlier dining if it's possible. So, but yeah, we'll advise you of it. So, yeah. Well, if they want to see photos of these things, they can stalk your social media.
Yes.
So, Donna, where are yours?
So everyone teases me because I'm so old school. I refuse. Like, I have an Instagram, but it's nothing. Like, it's Facebook. At Happy to Travel with Donna on Facebook. It is so much fun to post pictures of my family bopping around. We're homeschooling this year, so we're like doing all the things that we didn't get to do when he was in traditional school. So it's been great. Thus, Pixar Day at Sea for a week. So please follow along at Happy to Travel with Donna.
Yep. Or, of course, you can email her at donna@uponastartravel.com. And Heather,
you can find me at the Moana Mom on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to email me, it's heather@uponastartravel.com. Donna, I got to get you on Instagram. You need to get all these photos up on Instagram.
I know.
Now this is Heather's mission. This is Heather's mission now. Just mission. And then, of course, you can follow us on the interwebs, uponastartravel.com and @uponastartravel for all the content. We reposted a lot of these ladies' things whenever they were posting, because when people are traveling, we like to post that they're traveling. So anyway, any of us here would love to help you. Contact us. And because, there is a whole new world of travel to discover out there, and we're here to help you find it. And we've got new DCL things coming out. We got the Treasure coming out, and now we just learned about the Destiny, which is 2025. So a little bit longer for that, but get on our mailing list. Contact us. We'll alert you about all these things. So, in the meantime, we will see you real soon.